Ready and start. Excuse me. Hennessy House stuck out like a Victorian sore thumb trapped in suburbia. It was 3 stories, including the attic, painted dark brown with cream trim, and had a startling number of windows and a short but wide set of stairs that led up to the front door. Most of the cul-de-sac sidewalk framed the expansive front gate, which blocked the entrance to the half-circle driveway. Up close, it loomed much larger than Lucky thought it should. She knew it was the biggest house on the block by far, but taking in its perfectly green grass, perfectly trimmed hedges, and blooming red rose bushes felt strangely intimidating. A quickening in the pit of her stomach warned her to leave while simultaneously daring her to enter. Relax. She made the command through gritted teeth, hands white knuckling the steering wheel for her life. Her sense of self preservation was too damn strong. More than once, she'd ended up fist fighting it, fist fighting it in abandoned mines and the like. Ignoring her gut often came at her own peril, but Hennessy House would be worth the risk eventually. The truth was, Lucky didn't get into her graduate school of choice. Twice. It was small, exclusive, and the only accredited program specialized in parapsychology in the entire county. One school, one program, 0 slots. To make her lifelong dream of legitimizing the supernatural come true, she'd been forced to take matters into her own hands. 2 years of self-funded investigations, everything ranging from harmless interviews to dangerous overnight expeditions. Making acquaintances, establishing trusted contacts, and getting her name out there within the community had all led to this moment. Lucky had given up the security of her day job as a nanny to become a reality TV actress. In her defense, it seemed like a great plan when she mapped it out in her journal. Her phone chimed in the front pocket of her purse. A number with the correct area code appeared on the screen. Hello? Is this Lucky? Melodic and smooth, the caller's voice resonated with her like a tuning fork. She sat up straighter, immediately searching her memories for a match as she looked out the window. Are you watching Hennessy House remotely? She asked after spotting 3 of the many exterior cameras Xander promised. No. Then how do you know I was here? He paused. I didn't. So you just happened to call me the exact moment I pulled up. Give or take 10 panic minutes. Sure. You're there, right now? I am. She glanced at Hennessy's house's front door, thoroughly committed to ignoring the resulting chill that ran through her. Xander told me to expect a call from the production within this area code. He's an extremely surly man. Must be lovely to work with. Haven't had any issues so far, he laughed. I mostly work with Stefan. Huh? This might sound odd, but why do I know your laugh? You sound so familiar. Who is this? He laughed again. She swore she felt something in her chest flutter. Well, my name's Maverick. Lucky gasped softly, then whispered, Phillips? He whispered back, yes. The phone slid clean out of her hand, bouncing off the seat and onto the floor. Shit! She leaned down, face smushed against the wheel, still hush swearing. Her fingertips brushed the sides, and the stupid thing flipped over. She sat up quickly, pushing the seat back and picking the phone up just as quick as Maverick said, hello? Are you still there? Yes, hi, hello, sorry, sorry. She squeezed her eyes shut. Stop apologizing. She thought she'd met Maverick Phillips someday because they shared a production company now. But she didn't think, not in a million haunted years, that he'd be the one to call. He asked, is everything okay? Her heart hammered against her ribcage, temples pulsing with the start of an adrenaline headache. She squeezed her free hand into a fist until her knuckles hurt to get her splintered focus under control. If she could survive the hell week after listening to a cursed audio recording, talking to Maverick Phillips paled in comparison. Yes, she cleared her throat to get her pitch back from distressed territory. I'm fine. Everything's fine. I have no choice other than to believe you, but you can tell me if it isn't. Walking and talking is truly an advanced skill for my clumsy ass. I tripped and dropped my phone, that's all. She lied, smooth as butter. If they were watching, he'd know he was lying, and then she'd know he lied. So, Maverick Phillips, hi, I've seen your show. Which you obviously guessed by now. I don't know why I told you that. She'd been following his career for years. His show, Beyond a Reasonable Doubt, was No Qualms production flagship project, a paranormal investigative series focused on interviews rather than spectacle. Its popularity had been what encouraged NQP to branch out and create The Caretaker in the first place. He laughed again, this time soft and breathy. I'm calling in to introduce myself anyway and confirm you received the email with our production schedule. Hour? Lucky's entire being froze from shock. The hell did he mean hour? Was he part of the crew assigned to the caretaker? Yes. Using Maverick to ensure some audience crossover made perfect sense, but they could have given her a heads up about it. Rude. He continued, we didn't get a reply. I did get it. Yes, sorry, I'm the worst. I'll read something and think I responded, but really, it's been sitting there unset the whole time. Whoa, you really didn't need to know all that? Was it, what is wrong with me? She wanted to rip her hair out. Could stop making insipid comments for 5 seconds. Context is always helpful, he said kindly. Have you gone inside yet? Not yet, no. He paused. Are you all right? Yeah, totally. Not yet, no. He paused. Are you all right? Yeah, totally. Trying to psych myself up. Say a couple of prayers, the usual, she joked. Not every day you get to meet a haunted house. I want to make a good first impression. Have you been here before? Yes. Right. Yeah, I knew that. I'm caretaker number 4. Of course you've been here. Her eyes nearly rolled back into her head because she was absolutely sick of herself. She planned to be earnest and endearing, not empty-headed. And all of the people to lose her shit around, why did it have to be him? Lucky. Maverick? Don't be nervous. You're going to be fine. I'm nervous, she said, and then added, about the house. Hennessy House is particular, but nothing ever happens the first night. It likes to take a day or so to assess you before deciding the best way to scare you off. You think the house wants to scare me? I think Hennessy likes to test people, and everyone keeps failing. Good thing I never failed anything in my life. Oh, really? Straight A since kindergarten. If I think of this as a massive practical exam, it'll be a cakewalk. Nothing will happen tonight, but don't underestimate Hennessy, he said, sounding worried. I shouldn't even be telling you this now. We'll talk more about it tomorrow. Stefan is convinced you're exactly what the show's been missing. Everyone in production is excited to meet you. Tomorrow. Talking to him on the phone had scrambled her brain like eggs in a hot skillet. Meeting him might put her in an embarrassment-induced coma. She asked, just curious, how many people does production in translate to? 4, including myself. Oh, plus an intern. He laughed lightly. We have a young but very talented intern on the team now. She pinched the bridge of her nose. That sounds great, except it didn't. Reading 5 people in rapid succession had the potential to put her out of the commission for half the morning. The first impressions had to go somewhere, so they formed a quick cue in her face. Her sinuses, to be exact, they seemingly clustered there, clogging up her ducts like a backed-up sink while waiting to be filled away in her memory place. When she was younger, every doctor her parents had taken her to swore up and down she suffered from sinus headaches. Some had even upped the ante to chronic sinusitis. The medicine never worked, and no one had any real idea what was making her head hurt so badly she routinely blacked out. The doctors had done their best to give her family answers, but she didn't have a medical condition. She had ESP and needed to learn how to live with it. Lucky owed her life to Mr. Alm, her third grade teacher. One day, he had the class through an enrichment exercise called the method of localization techniques to help store and recall information. By high school, Lucky had gotten so good at it, she'd created small automated works who retrieved, achieved, and stored the first impressions for her. She didn't have to think about anything except retrieval, which was as fast as any thought took. But reading too many people in a row still remained a tricky feat. She'd have to be careful. Great, Maverick repeated. Well, I'll let you get on with your afternoon then. Lucky got out of the car and hauled her suitcases up the stairs, one at a time. A green envelope with her name on it had been taped to the door. She pulled it off and held it in her hands. That was really it. Her big break finally came to fruition. She refused to build a platform by making videos of her reading real scary stories lifted from the internet or theorizing about unexplainable videos. Paranormal investigation shows had become a dime a dozen. While some were more earnest and clearly staged, others, finding ghosts and haunting cryptids, didn't interest her. Lucky's heart belonged to the supernatural, the extraordinary side of reality shimmering right under the surface of humans. Growing up with ESP, extrasensory perception, all but sealed her passionate interest in it. She believed things like magic and miracles existed as such because science hadn't caught up yet. Of course, not everything needed to be explained. She respected faith in the solace to it provided the human brain and soul, but a lot of things could be explained if someone worked hard enough. Unfortunately, finding streams for supernatural researchers were bone dry. The legitimate investors she managed to find rarely returned her emails because she lacked experience. They were usually millionaires, plus searching for the key to eternal life, interested in harnessing mysticism to increase their power, seeking proof of the great beyond to begin securing their future over there. As outlandish and self-serving as they sounded, they were typically reasonable. They'd want to work with her once she proved herself. Investigating a haunted house that had no record of tragedy would be novel enough to get everyone's attention. Something made this place different, and she planned to find out exactly what that was. Okay, Hennessy House, she said. Let's do this. Chapter 3. 12 minutes in. We can do it. Chapter 3. Lucky. Welcome to Hennessy House. Upon entering, you agree to follow 5 rules. Walk straight into the kitchen, retrieve your picnic basket, go upstairs, turn left, enter the primary bedroom suite on the right. Stay in your suite until sunrise. Do not explore the house for any reason. Love, Xander. Chapter 4. 3 different kinds of deadbolts stood between Lucky and her goals. That felt excessive. Xander must have been worried about break-ins, but why? The maintenance schedule ensured someone would be on site at least once a day, every day of the week, not to mention the installed over-the-top security system. Motion detectors guarded the house's exteriors in both yards. Cameras recorded every entrance and window. Xander had spent a solid half hour going over the location of each one, hammering it home that there wasn't a single unmonitored spot outside the house. She'd laughed and asked, why stop there? Why not have cameras in the house too? He'd pursed his lips into the unhappy grimace she'd come to know, love, and openly mock during pre-production. Because they all mysteriously stopped working within a week. Maybe someone's breaking them. No one has lived there as a permanent resident in years. Because of its unfortunate location and proclivities, the most my family has ever used it for were temporary getaways. Every repair tech reports the cameras are functional during tests, and for the first 6 days... Sorry, where was that? For the first 6 days post-installation, something makes them go offline on the 7th. She'd begun vibrating with excitement by that point, barely able to hide her fascination. Whoa! How long has that been happening? She made the decision to stop trying a few years ago. As soon as Lucky opened the door, the alarm went off. The alarms began beeping directly on her left. She entered the code on the first try, brought her suitcase inside, and shut the door, pushing firmly against the old wood despite the latch sliding home inside resistance. Not a creak, not a groan, not a hint of warped wood to be found. She'd read somewhere that dogs understood everything their people said, and, relatedly, that plants respond to warm, soothing voices. An alleged haunted house might appreciate the effort as well. Hello, Hennessy House, she smiled. My name's Lucky Heart. Every curtain had been closed. She surveyed the foyer, the stairs directly in front of her, the rooms on either side, and the hall to the right of the stairs that led farther into the house. Temperature warm, almost perfect. Notable smells, the house. Temperature warm, almost perfect. Notable smells, hint of a pine-scented cleaner and fresh laundry. Appearance identical to the pictures. Her instructions had to go straight. She assumed that meant the hall next to the stairs. No rugs on the A to go straight. She assumed that meant the hall next to the stairs. No rugs on the aged hardwood floor, no paintings or pictures on the walls. One lone table rested in the middle of the hallway with a flowered vase on the top. The same exact purple flower dotted along the light brown and cream wallpaper. At least it's not yellow, she mumbled absently. After passing the length of the stairs and the intrigued door in the wall underneath it, the hall suddenly split the two. One on her left, a short, perpendicular offshoot led to a dead-end window with a door on each side. Her eye twitched in defiance. She wanted to go that way. She needed to go there. Xander could have lied about the cameras, not working on the house as a test to see how well she followed directions. They absolutely had some method of keeping tabs on her. She didn't believe for a second they didn't. Alternatively, her forced first night imprisonment could have been to ensure the mechanisms designed to make the house moan, the door slam, and the vents whisper her name in the night stayed a secret. Her palms began to sweat. Temptation was a real bitch sometimes. She also had at least considered Xander's rolls might belong to Hennessy itself. Wandering might be unsafe. Maverick said he'd explain more in the morning, but in the next breath claimed nothing happened on the first night. The implication being she'd be protected only if she did as instructed. If one wanted to rob a bank, the inside man couldn't immediately begin casing the safe and interrogating the manager on their first day of work. They mastered their job while keeping their eyes and ears on everyone else's. Their patience would pay off eventually, organically through trust. Logic won this afternoon. She'd followed their damn rules for as long as her patience would allow. Half against her will, she marched forward into the kitchen. A large brown picnic basket with a red gingham trim sat on the center island. The room was decently sized, filled with the colorful retro-styled appliances, a small round dining table with 4 gorgeous windows and a Dutch door to the backyard. Her jaw dropped. A large white gazebo partially blocked the view of what had to be an orchard. An actual honest-to-the-God orchard thriving with flowering bushes and a gloriously colorful fruit trees. She grabbed the counter to stop herself from sprinting outside. That wasn't in the pictures. Even from where she stood, its allure curled around her, sweet as smoke, nearly overwhelming, as if it were calling to her, inviting her to walk along its paths, pick its fruits, take the naps in its shade. Go upstairs. Go upstairs. Go upstairs. She continued chanting under her breath as she picked up the picnic basket. Eyes narrowed into slits the entire time, but she made it. Unlike the orchard, the bedroom was the very same she'd seen in the pictures. All dark wooden furniture with rich plume-colored bedding, and curtains. She put her clothes away in the walk-in closet and decorated the room with a stack of books on the nightstand, comforting pictures, and a jewelry case on the dresser, and a hot pink stuffed lion and her laptop on the bed. Now, this was the part where Lucky was up case on the dresser, and a hot pink stuffed lion and her laptop on the bed. Now, this was the part where Lucky was supposed to call someone to let them know she'd arrived safely and gush over the beautiful house, except she had no one. No one, no point in scrolling through her contacts pretending she did. Someone somewhere would care if she died. Probably her brother. He'd do the right thing and claim her remains. Until then, he and the rest of them cared very little about her day to day. Thinking of her family hurt like a reoccurring muscle twinge. Easy enough to massage away, she'd stopped being sad about it a long time ago. Having friends required dedicating time to cultivating a social life. Her messages used to be filled with all kinds of check-ins and invites. She'd decline, choosing to spend her time very researching instead, going on expeditions, conducting interviews, writing papers, and publishing anonymous blog posts with her findings. She made time for her dreams by sacrificing everything and everyone else. And now she was in Hennessy House, right where she wanted to be with no room for regret. The attached bathroom was wonderfully equal in size with the clawfoot tub and the separate shower. Drawing perfect baths was as delicate a science as her supernatural research. She'd been forced to master it after years of nannying. She was a hands-on playtime, cartwheel competitions, trampoline, hide-and-seek active kind of nanny. Dollar store bubble bath, lavender baby oil, and a sprinkle of Epsom salt hadn't failed her aching body yet. Carefully, she lowered herself into the hot water. Epsom salt hadn't failed her aching body yet. Carefully, she lowered herself into the hot water, groaning with pleasure as she went. Her feet barely brushed the drain at the head of the tub, and she reclined her head on the rim. I could get used to this, she said to absolutely no one. Lucky never had lived anywhere with a tub big enough to fit her entire body with room to spare. She always had to bend her knees, or it was so shallow the water barely passed her waist. She'd punched a ghost, unprovoked, dead in the face for this tub alone. Perhaps that was the thought that caused the bedroom door to slowly drift open wider. She pretended not to notice, humming as she casually reached into her toiletries bag to get her nail brush and spare switchblade. Under the water, she dropped one and filed the other one. She might die. She was sure as shit taking her attacker with her. A merciless, relaxed calm flooded her taut muscles with purpose. She cleared her mind of everything except her self-defense training. Xander promised there'd be no people running around in the sheets or special effects makeups to scare her. She'd warned him she knew how to fight if there were. Learning how had become a necessity after a group expedition in a condemned basement laboratory went sideways. Her self-defense instructor taught her, you don't have to get ready if you stay ready. A lesson she took to heart. But instead of an intruder, a gust of wind blew towards her as if she were standing directly in front of the air conditioning. It cut straight through her, making her shiver and instantly cooling her bathwater. It disappeared as quickly as it had arrived, but left something behind. In the bedroom, a mason jar with a purple flower inside sat on top of the old chest directly on the foot of the bed, the same kind of purple flower as on the wallpaper downstairs. She grabbed her towel, thinking quickly as she headed into the bedroom. That jar hadn't been there before. She would have noticed. A welcome gift? A warning gift. No different than an abusive partner trying to soften her up with the blows to come later. Her hand stalled with hesitation before ultimately reaching to pick up the jar. She'd started with respect and would see the plan through. Thank you, she swallowed hard, forcing her uncertainty. Back down, this is so nice. I'll put it on the dresser for now. Bath ruined. She dressed and unpacked her picnic basket, ate dinner, and swapped the cotton pillowcases on the bed for her satin ones. To protect her hair. She'd always been a light, restless sleeper, bonnet, scarves, wraps, you name it. never lasted longer than an hour on her head because she tossed and turned so much. Her eyes had begun to drift closed as she read a book in bed with her phone rang. Hello? Hi, Lucky, it's Maverick. She sat bolt right up straight instantly, stomach smoldering into oblivion. Oh, hi. He laughed a husky and amused staccato chuckle. You sound disappointed. I'm not. It's a defense mechanism. Can't be let down if your hopes are never up, she answered without thinking and squeezed her eyes shut in regret. Sorry, I shouldn't have said that. No, that's fine and smart. Although, I don't know if I could live that way. For me, having hopes makes life worth living. She smiled, lowering her head as if she wanted to hide the sudden burst of expression. Unexpectedly, though, her brain betrayed her by deciding to answer him honestly with nihilism. The only thing that makes life worth living is the fact that I'm not dead. It's like I'm being forced to survive. He laughed again, softer this time. I definitely have questions about that, but I think I'll save them for tomorrow's interview. Will you really be here at sunrise? That's the deal. How are you settling in? Still nervous? All settled and tucked into bed, nerves got out her all the time. She felt them in the car, but so far not all in the house. Creepy or unsettling feelings weren't following her like a threatening shred. Getting the flower was strange, at most. Fighting against her desire to do as she pleased had been the most distressing part. The house hasn't gobbled me up yet. I told you nothing happens on the first night. She glanced at the mason jar. You sure about that? Did something happen? Wait, no, you can't tell me. I shouldn't be calling you right now. Then why did you? Honestly, he exhaled into a sigh. I was worried. You worried about me? After 3 hopeful beats of silence, sense kicked in. He didn't mean that personally. Oh, because I'm number 4, right? I know my predecessors didn't last long. No, he said matter of factly. No room for anything else. I didn't call them. I didn't even think to. Earlier, you sounded a little panicked, and I honestly haven't stopped thinking about it. Shit. Sorry, I promise that wasn't because of the house. I'm fine here. I don't feel unsafe. I don't feel scared. It's a little jarring being somewhere with so much space and no one to share it with because I'm used to my tiny room in my tiny apartment, but other than that, I'm okay. If it wasn't the house, what made you so nervous? She sat stuck in the moment, struggling to find her next words. How could she explain to him that her dreams, plural, were literally coming true without giving herself away? NQP hired a struggling, aimless, not quite young adult who was supposed to learn that she'd bitten off more than she could chew. Telling the truth to reassure Maverick had been a rookie mistake. So, why did she do it? Why did she keep doing it? A small purple dot moved in her peripheral vision. She turned towards it, watching as the purple flower in the mason jar spun quickly in a circle at the bottom, moving faster and faster as if it caught in a twister. The hairs on the back of Lucky's neck stood up. Maverick, she said with perfect practice calm. I'm not afraid, but for the sake of the show, I think I need to hang up now. A beat of silence on his end, then, is something happening? Stefan wanted a story. As much as it pained her, this would have to be a part of that. Good night. Don't worry about me, okay? We all live about an hour away, he said quickly. Promise you'll call me or even Stefan if you need to. I promise. I'm choosing to believe you again. He paused. Good night. Lucky smiled softly. I'll see you at sunrise. The purple flower began to levitate. Dun dun dun! Chapter 5! Chapter 5. Dun dun dun! Chapter 5! Chapter 5. Let's take a little break. Oh shit. Chapter 5. Let's take a little break. Oh shit. I'm just dropping shit. How are we doing, y'all? Are you reading along? Are you enjoying the book? All right, we got our 5-minute break on the clock. That was cute. Okay, so it sounds like she is in the house now. and it's a little spooky, but she's doing well. She's handling it. And Maverick sounds kind of hot. Like, who is he? Just the man of her dreams, obviously, right? Oh, that was a lot of reading. I haven't read that much out loud in so long. I'm sorry for fucking it up a little bit. I'm just a girl. Which, if you guys want to read along, highly recommend the Libby app. Always recommend libraries first. There are many free library card options for people who aren't residents of certain locations. You can get those library cards for free, which is what I do because I don't have many good library sources around me. So I just do those free ones, and they got a lot of options. This was one of them. It's pretty good option. Can y'all still hear Skyrim? It'll be fine. So now we're at chapter 5. We're on page 28. We're gonna wait. We're gonna take our break. We're gonna be good. Take our little break. I should drink more water. Make sure to drink water, guys. We're hydrating. We're making time in our day to actually sit down and read something and not just think about reading it. I'm kind of really excited. This is our first rendition of book club for the Discord, which we also have the voice chat going in the Discord. No video, but they can hear everything we're saying right now over there. Dang, I wonder, are we gonna like push ourselves to do this in a month? Do you think we can finish this in a month? I don't remember how many pages it is. We can't, guys, it's October 27th. We can't finish this month. I mean, we could if we did like a readathon and just read for like 24 to 48 hours, maybe 72 hours, which sounds highly appealing. Could be good. Could be a fun option. Should I make it a Discord poll? Would you vote? Because if I vote, I'm just going to vote yes because I'm enthusiastic. And I love doing all the fun things. And then when you guys vote, I get even more excited because it's like watching a cat play with a new toy. It's like, oh, I don't want to spook them. There, you do this. I wonder if we can find like a nice Thanksgiving book or like a fall read for November. I really like cozy mysteries. Those are fun right now. They're really easily consumable reads. And they're just like lighthearted and cozy and just like the vibe. They're just such a good vibe. 50 something seconds left, y'all. And then we're jumping into chapter 5, page 28. I need another head of the Benjamin, excuse me. Excuse me. My cat hates it when I hit the Benjamin. She be yelling. She angry cat. Ready? Count it down with me. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Reset and start. All right, round 2. Ready? Oops. Sorry, the iPad closed on Discord. Hi, Discord. I hope you guys can hear me. Ready? Meow. Meow, meow, you too. Come here. Here she is. book reading The Cat. Ready? Chapter 5, page 28. To Lucky's eternal disappointment, nothing more happened in Hennessy House. She'd slid off the bed, hurrying to the dresser, only to watch with a complete devastation as the flour drifted back to the bottom of the jar. She'd stood there, willing it to move, concentrating so hard she gave herself a headache, confirming once again that telekinesis would continue to be her great white whale. Eventually, she'd fall into a dreamless sleep with her phone clutched in her hand. Hennessy House wouldn't catch her slacking again, but the only action the phone saw was ringing. Lucky? It took what's the matter? He's just being creepy. He's not going to hurt you. He's just a creepy guy. Sorry, I have a dog and he's kind of a creepy guy. And he scares her because he's with his creepiness. But also, I don't want her to burn her. Bookie, did you burn your tail? That's fire. That's dangerous. I smell burnt cat tail. No. Why are you burning your tail for? Yeah, that's danger. He's just a creepy guy. He's not going to hurt you. You know that. Okay, bud, you're going to have to be creepy elsewhere. Stop. Okay. I think they settled their beef, or she's at least gone to the other room. Where were we? I'm just going to restart from the top of the page. And Discord. Here we go. La la la. Okay, great. It took a full 3 seconds before she remembered she was where she was, why she was there, and realized she was calling Maverick. Hi. She buried her sleepy smile into her pillow. You're okay? I am. Wait, hold on. Let me actually check. Her full body stretch ended in a yawn. My muscles are in a working order. I can wiggle my toes and fingers, and I have all my senses. I think I just might have to survive my first night. Good. I wasn't worried. Not even a little bit. Didn't think about calling you again at all. She snickered. That's very sweet. Thank you. Yeah, well, he cleared his throat. We'll be there in about an hour. Don't leave your room until you hear the doorbell. Lucky glanced at the window. The first colors of rising dawn had barely crested over the horizon. Great. More waiting. She'd planned to use at least a few minutes of her sunrise-provided freedom checking things out solo. So much for that. She started getting ready, from her usual morning journal session to antagonizing over what to wear. Her picnic basket provided an assortment of snacks and prepackaged breakfast foods because they really didn't want her leaving the room, not for a millisecond before she had to. With time to spare, she ended up sitting in the bed, bored and all, but twiddling her thumbs while waiting to meet Maverick Phillips. Beyond Reasonable Doubt, BARD for short, was entertaining, thoughtful, well-written, award-winning, etc., etc. On the show, Maverick interviewed people claiming to have had paranormal experiences, whether they'd been haunted, tormented, or comforted by their encounters. Oops, sorry, I looked away for just a fraction, and I've lost my spot. Whether they'd been haunted, tormented, or comforted by their encounters, he gave them the space to exist free of judgment or ridicule. He asked questions that expertly exposed the hearts of their stories, allowing their truth to finally be seen. Afterward, he attempted to investigate their claims with his team to support a large narrative based around his character, but that was neither here nor there. Those interviews with Maverick, empathy, compassion, and respect on full display were what captivated viewers. Lucky could easily binge watch it for hours on end, even if she had a day off or was too sad to move. It honestly didn't matter. She was always in the mood for it. But that was the show. Maverick was a very real person whom she'd already seen up close in night vision, being alternately pensive and playful, and even scared and seconds away from screaming. He exuded protector kind of confidence, and there was a keen, sinking intelligence behind his dark brown eyes, alert and focused, alert and focused, driven by his curiosity and with an open mind constantly spinning with ideas to explain the unexplainable. Lucky hoped he'd be like that in real life too. She gnawed on her thumbnail as anxiety acted like a hook, crocheting her organs together in disgusting knots. Getting overexcited and making mistakes was forbidden. No matter what or whom she'd encountered, she vowed to be the epitome of focused. She refused to let a celebrity disappointing her change that. The doorbell rang and Lucky shot out of that suite like a running at the start of the race. Common sense kicked in right as she touched the first deadbolt. She slid on her ability, blocking dark sunglasses in the record time. Hi, good morning. Lucky stepped to the side, gesturing for him to enter. Welcome to my haunted house. Please come in. Amazingly, Maverick was even more attractive in person. Who would have thought? Nothing surprised her about how lean and muscular his body was, his cool brown skin or his closely cropped beard. While his hair had grown out some, he was exactly as tall as she thought he'd be. With the right pair of heels, they'd stand eye to eye, all of that she expected, but there was more. She couldn't quite put her finger on the difference, almost as if the camera only caught a fraction of his radiance, enough to draw the viewer in, and gave up on capturing the rest because it couldn't. With no filter or lenses, he was just more. Whole and mesmerizing. Her brain felt empty. No thoughts, no words, except more. More him, more of him, more Maverick in her life. Please and thank you. Getting starstruck apparently existed in her emotional wheelhouse. Who knew? She sure didn't. Everything okay? Maverick remained on the porch. A large black bag rested at his feet. Why wouldn't it be? You're wearing sunglasses. Yeah, because I'm not ready to take them off yet. He eyed her carefully as if he were searching for something. You also seem a little flustered. Impossible. That's something that happens to the other people, not me. She glanced outside, spotting Stefan and two others near the back of a black van. Are they not coming in? The team is reshooting some exterior shots. Stefan is directing under the guise of producing. They'll join us once they're done. Oh, perfect, she said, genuinely relieved. Are you going to come in? Unless you plan to interview me here. Maverick stared at her for a beat, face unreadable. Let's do it in the library. I love libraries. She cringed, so hard she almost bit her cheek. Shit, she did sound flustered, and breathless, and starstruck. Perfect, follow me. Maverick smiled, clearly amused. As he led the way, she gestured to his camera bag. Are we filming right away? I was only able to change my outfit 6 times. I'm not sure if I went to make my caretaker debut looking like a long-lost Super Mario sibling. That's fucking funny. Pointing out her blue overalls and purple sweatshirt seemed like a cute way to make a joke. Hopeful he'd think she'd been acting funny on purpose instead of being betrayed by her brain on the biggest day of her career so far. We can go audio only if that's what you prefer. You look fine, by the way. Fine? Yeah. Very wholesome. She laughed at that. I'm not, though. Her thoughts were growing darker by the second. If she embarrassed herself one more time, she was going to throw herself down a well. Film and TV are all smoke and mirrors. You'll fit right in. He shrugged, seemingly not noticing her despair, and turned left at the previous night's perpendicular temptation. Lucky had no idea Hennessy House had a library. Stefan wanted her to discover the home layout gradually and wouldn't let Xander tell her much. Of course, his name is Xander, by the way. Of course. Even the map he'd used to show her the security cameras used generic labels like downstairs room 3. Ooh, she breathed. Fully stocked bookshelves wrapped around the entire room with breaks only for the door and windows. Non-matching armchairs draped with decorative pillows and throw blankets had been stacked stage over a circular slat gray rug that covered a large section of the floor. A modest chandelier hung in the center of the ceiling, but there were also standing lamps with curved poles that created intimate overhead spotlights above a few of the chairs. It's nice, right? It's my favorite room in the house. I love it. She nodded, wandering farther inside and ending up standing at the window facing the orchard. The compulsion to run out there hit her again like a shot of her pure dopamine. Small miracle that she didn't press her hands and face up against the glass, breathing heavily through her restraint. Interesting. Perhaps her reaction meant something other than her usual impulsive desire getting out of hand. She made a note of her phone. Create an outline for Orchard sub-investigation. Include a sensation map as it relates to being inside H8 and out. Maverick appeared next to her. Ready? Yep. She switched documents to her prepared outline for the day. The caretaker would be Lucky's official main stage debut into the supernatural industry, and she needed her ESP to be spotlighted in the show. Years of being ostracized had taught her to hide her ability at all costs. But it was time. She felt ready, or at least had convinced herself she was. Her plan involved establishing that while she was familiar with Maverick, she could prove for her first impression ability by knowing things only he would know. He'd then hopefully vouch for her before she read the rest of the team. When they inevitably asked why she hadn't disclosed her ability during the interview, she'd already had her answer prepared. The main objective of the caretaker was storytelling, an ordinary person relying their supernatural encounters over time. Her contact at NQP disclosed production was rapidly becoming a shit show. No one had anticipated Hennessy House's darkly enthusiastic participation. In short, the house had been taking things too far. NQP wanted people from all walks of life that they could mold to fit their narrative. A college-educated super believer ESP girly like her wouldn't have made it past the first round. But now that she was there, she'd made it worth her while, as promised. Lucky's ability only worked on people, humans to be specific. A haunted house might be impossible, but what if it wasn't? What if she found the equivalent of its eyes and willingly stared at it? 3 caretakers couldn't hack it. She'd not only be the exception, she'd also be able to explain why. Lucky began. I've always wondered how much the real Maverick is in the show version. Is it really all an act? Show Maverick's backstory is made up. He spoke slowly as if he were considering each word. I've never been married. My parents are alive. I'm nowhere near an only child. I'm more interested in writing stories than being one. She nodded, unable to resist looking out the window again. A black cat was curled underneath one of the fruit trees. Sorry, Discord. Okay, where were we? I purposefully made his life the opposite of mine to keep myself grounded. I had a feeling I would need that space, he continued, the words tumbling out of him now. But I think we're both literally curious. It's a sickness, really. We both want to understand everything. If there's a reason for something, he wants to know what it is and won't stop until he gets an answer. Personally, I'm okay if an answer doesn't exist. I care more about what I can learn from an experience and how I can move forward with that information. Oh, that got her attention. Bit of a rarity for people to be that self-aware. She'd made it to a point not get the deep into the Bard fandom. Her own adventures were more important to her than discussing his outline. Still, she'd known about the long-standing debate on whether Maverick was playing a fictional character or a thinly veiled self-insert. No one knew for sure. The answer resided somewhere in the middle like a rabbit in a magician's hat, the illusion in place well before the audience arrived. The notable details about him were probably true. The deep empathy he displayed while interviewing, how inquisitive and brave he could be, and the unwavering, hopeful look in his eyes whenever he was unable to solve a case after giving it his all. He wanted to believe. Lucky had been right in deciding to play it this way. Everything truly began with Maverick. Bard viewers trusted him and his character. NQP was banking on that crossover audience. If Lucky could convince him, everyone else would fall in line and believe her. I suspected as much. She nodded. Would you like to know more about yourself? Can I tell you if you're up for a little challenge? He frowned, confused. What do you mean by that? Is that on the record question? Doesn't have to be. It should be. Turn on your camera. It'll be good for the show. They repositioned a pair of armchairs in front of the window to make sure of the natural light, setting them next to each other at an angle to ensure they'd both be in frame. After handing her a small microphone to hold and a quick sound test, he made some. Oops, this keeps shutting out. I'm so sorry. After handing her a small microphone to hold and a quick sound test, he made some preliminary notes for someone named Terracy? We're going to call them Terry. He asked, "Have you ever been interviewed before?" "Probably not in the way you're thinking. What makes you think you know what I'm thinking?" "Oh, it's way too early for you to have all my secrets. You only get one today, and that's not it." His eyes narrowed quickly before relaxing. "Do you always make cryptic little remarks like that?" "No," she grinned, leaning towards him. "I'm trying to be mysterious. Is it working?" "It's not working," he admitted. "Before we officially begin discussing your first night in Hennessy House, could you tell me a little about yourself? Specifically, what were you referring to earlier?" "I'm not psychic," I said immediately. "I can't tell the future, and no, I don't know what you're going to do next. But I can read people. People, not their auras or anything like that. I'm talking about personalities, likes, dislikes, core beliefs, important events that shape them, repressed memories, and their secrets, the ones they know about and some they might not. First impressions truly tell me everything I need to know." Surprise rippled across his face like a wave before subsiding. He smoothly transitioned back into his usual natural interviewer expression she'd seen dozens of times. Kind of impressive to see it in real time. "I have to admit, I haven't expected you to say anything like that." "No one ever does." She gave him a rare, wistful smile. "I don't know why or how I can do it. I just can. And I'm almost never wrong." Maverick glanced at the camera, purposefully displaying a concerned look. She knew he wanted to create attention for the audience. She also knew he wanted them to know he knew what was coming and, against his better judgment, decided to share it with them. "I would never say that I don't believe you," he said, measured and certain. "Is there any way you can demonstrate this ability for me? Would you be comfortable doing that?" He was so delightfully wonderful at his job. She felt herself begin to relax, sinking back into the chair, a contented sigh waiting to leave her lungs. She was how she felt watching his show. Something about the way he worked always set her spirit at ease. When she didn't answer, he pressed, "Lucky." She looked away, staring at the floor as if they'd rehearsed it. "I could read you, if you want." She removed her glasses, folding and hanging them on her front pocket. "I normally don't warn people before I do this, so if you're game, I'm going to read you now." His nervous laugh didn't sound entirely fake. "How does it work?" "Once per person, repeat first impressions, highly unlikely. Individual experiences may vary." Her delivery implied a joke, but it wasn't, especially that last point. "Really? I'll just look at your eyes, and then I'll know." "Don't look at me yet." She almost did, reflexively jerking toward him. "Okay." "Do you mind if we pause for just a second? I thought of something, and I don't want to lose it." She kept her gaze down, using her hand like a shield on her forehead to block herself from accidentally looking at him. His nimble thumbs typed expertly fast as she leaned in closer to see. "It's just some notes," he said, still going. "I saw my name. Because I'm writing about you." "Interview questions?" "No." "A true or false personality test to see if I'm not psychic?" He laughed. "No again. That's an interesting way to phrase it. Is that what you call your gift?" "Only when I'm being funny. I don't vibe with words like clairvoyant or psychic. Formally, I've debuted a first impression ability. Informally, I'm an ESP girly." "And what made you decide to tell me about it?" She heard the smile in his voice and relaxed that much more. "Because you believe people. Everyone's always thinking I'm lying. I thought you might give me the benefit of the doubt like you do to guests on your show, which you did, so thank you." His phone rang. Stefan's picture appeared on the screen. Hold on. I have to take this." "Don't look at me yet," he said playfully. "I won't." She laughed. "Hey, what's up? We're in the library." "No, why would she be with me?" Why do you mean she's gone? What do you mean she's gone? He stood up, speed walking towards the hall. Lucky, I'll be right back. Okay, I'll wait here, she said to the empty room. A few moments later, she heard a chorus of voices yelling outside, but she couldn't make out what they were saying. From the window, she didn't see anyone in the backyard. They must have been on the side or towards the front of the house. Part of her thought she should go see if they needed help. Then again, if they needed it, Maverick would have asked. Overstepping on her first day seemed like a bad idea. Besides, and most importantly, sunrise had officially come and gone. Chapter 6, page 40. Okay, hell yeah. W chat. That was a really good that was a good chapter. Okay, so now she's going to reveal herself to Maverick, it sounds like. We have 3 minutes left on the timer, but I'm going to stop there because I don't think I can cram the next chapter in 3 minutes. Although that would be really cool. We could try, but I'm not going to remember anything that I read, so I don't want to do that to myself. Again, I am reading from a library book rental. Check out your local library for options. You can find this book at your local library and you can read along with us either here on TikTok or on Discord in our book club channel. We're primarily a gaming channel, but we do host Saturday night movies, Monday night book club, Friday evening Fortnite, Friday, and gaming throughout the rest of the week with, we're just people who have fun. We're just people who have fun. But I'm open to just chit chat and hang out now. That was so much fun for our very first book club live. I have no idea what we're doing, but that was fun. I liked reading. I love reading. I used to be a booktube girly way back in the 2000s, which that was really cool. I don't know. Should we assign chapters? Should we say we're going to read through 6, 7, 8, and 9? We'll have up to that ready next Monday. So then on Monday, we'll read 10, 11, and 12 together here. I don't know. It's an option, though. What did you guys think of what we read? Of the story so far? It seems super cute. I wonder what she's going to read off of Maverick. What her first impression of him is going to be. Do you think he's going to be a bad guy? Because, his name is Maverick. But then, what about Xander? So we've got two guys with hot names. And that usually means big things in rom-coms. We have a Xander and we have a Maverick. And we have Stefan, but Stefan's just a guy. I don't think Stefan's, on the radar. So maybe not Stefan. But for sure we have Xander and for sure we have Maverick. Which one of them is going to be the bad guy? Are they both going to be bad guys? Oh my gosh, what if they're both bad guys? What if, where's this going to take us? Okay, so our main character, her superpowers are she can see everything about somebody when she first meets them. So that's why she wears sunglasses a lot of the time to kind of hide that, suppress that ability, right? So what if these guys want to use her for evil? What do they want to read? What do you think they're after or will be after, There's so much to it. But at the same time, I don't even know. I should have checked how long the book was, right? I should have checked how many pages. Oh, well, it'll be fine. It's cute, though. I'm liking it so far. I might read a little more tonight when I get in bed and I'm all cozy and sleepy, in the next 30 minutes. But, I really hope you guys are able to check out the book. Or, if you're interested in buying it, go ahead and buy it. But I am pro libraries. Library saved my life many times in a life event kind of way, not even in a book way, but in a life event kind of a way. So always gang for libraries. Ooh, we've got 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. We did it. That was 50 minutes of reading with a 5-minute break. We're so good, you guys. Superstars up here. Reset my timer so that way it's ready for my work tomorrow, which don't forget, tomorrow is Tuesday, right? Yeah, tomorrow's Tuesday. So we have co-working from 1 p.m. to 4 p.m. On the Discord, not on TikTok. It's Discord only. It is through Patreon. So sign up for a membership and get to join our co-working space. It's the only space that's through Patreon. Everything else is a free and welcome community. But I got to get something out of it, right? So co-working's it. And you're welcome to join us for that. We just kind of sit and we work together. I have a shared to-do sheet, and this timer that you see here is also shareable, so we can all link together and all of our names pop up in a group, and it's really cute. Same with the to-do list. We can all put our own tasks on there together, eat through it as we go. Oh, man, I am ready. I am ready to get into bed. I hope you guys are nice and cozy. I hope you had a lot of fun. This was a lot of fun for me, at least. I had a blast. A freaking blast. Hope you did too. Thank you for Benny for the how many? Almost 5,000 likes. I appreciate you. Thank you, Rat Pat. I know you got in on that too. Thank you for the shares. Always appreciate you guys. The lurkers, gang lurkers. Samesies. We love a good body doubling queen and king and thing. But we'll see you guys tomorrow for Stardew Valley. Tomorrow, Stardew Valley, 8 p.m. Central Standard Time. Okay. Have a good night. And if you're in the Discord, I'll see you there. Bye.